Welcome to Journey TV. I'm your host, Yvette Craddock. Journey TV is a series of programs dedicated to exploring cultural diversity in the corridor. Each episode features the personal stories of local residents who share their challenges and contributions to enrich the corridor's cultural climate. They share their stories with the intention that we collectively increase our understanding, acceptance, tolerance, and respect for each other. Their personal stories may be their individual journeys, but their individual journeys represent those of many. We are the many.
Since we born, we don't know the peace. Only the peace maybe when we are here.
Esai Toingar and his wife Bridget are originally from Chad, Africa. The country of Chad has been a bloody battleground for decades. Although its bloodshed and revolt is akin to Rwanda, very little is publicized about the Chad civil wars.
The war started in the north of Chad because it was people of the north that went to the rebellion, and it took some years from 1965 until 1982 before, even before that, there was peace agreement that they came out, and then they prepared themselves, and the war started in Jamena. That is where it affected all the areas. And then in 1982, the war reached our area. We were from south. And it was, I don't know if you heard about Black September, but if in Chad they talk about Black September, that is a horrific moment. Many places, churches, many people have been killed. They burned them alive, and it was a bad moment. It was during that time that I carried the gun at the age of 13 and 8 months. And then there was a process of negotiation. We came out. Once we came out, some months later, they started killing our leaders. So some people, they run to go to bush again. And during that time, they put us already with the government forces. They use us to fight others, and it was a hard moment, but I was blessed that I escaped, and through the way that I escaped, I don't know, but it's God that helped me through those hard moments.
Did you lose a lot of family members?
Yeah.
Yeah. Esai and Bridget's sadness is palpable. The scars of repeated personal loss from the war are still etched on their hearts.
I remember I was young at that time, but they went to our village, our original village, and people were praying. That was on Sunday, and they surprised them, so they surrounded the church, and they killed most of people there. And people that were killed, some that still not dying yet, they're still alive. They try to record them, the voice, and bring it back to the city, and they laugh about it. So it's heartbreaking.
It is hard to see your loved one, to see your mom, your daddy, your brother, someone come just for nothing. The person is tortured before he was killed. And when this happens at your presence, it affects you, and it takes some time.
We do not have anybody to rescue us, so for us we thought it's how the life is going to be, so we have to tolerate everything that is happening to us. every day in the morning when you wake up, you have to thank God that you are still alive. When you are going to bed, you don't know what's going to happen at night. So that's why in my country and most of African countries, when we wake up in the morning, we have to look at the door at your neighbor. Kuku, are you there? You know, making sure that he's still alive, that nothing happened to him, and we take it like a culture. So yeah, it's difficult.
So community, family is community, community is family.
Exactly.
In African cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Their tight-knit family and village ties survive by staying apart and developing intricate communication systems to keep them connected. After living every day of their lives in a state of unknowing, their only chance of having a truly fulfilling and peaceful life was to petition for relocation to a new home. In this case, America.
We had an interview. We went through some physical exams by physicians that are qualified. They just took us pictures, and those pictures, they send it here to the United States, and then they send it to immigration. They send us ticket, and then there's an organization, they call it OIM. From Africa, they sent someone to Nigeria. So that person took us to the airport. When we arrived in France, there was another agent of OIM that was waiting for us. From there, we came to the United States. The same thing in New York. There was someone there that was waiting for us. They gave us a work permit, permanent work permit. And then the lady took us now to one center. And it was from there that they opened our envelope. Okay, you will go to Iowa. These people will go to Connecticut, like that. After she said, okay, we will come to Iowa, there was a problem of weather, and we missed our airplane. I was with a family from Ivory Coast, and none of us spoke English. So it was a hard time. They gave us another airplane that we used, that took us to St. Louis. And it was late already. So we stayed there. We didn't know what to do. I had 15 naira, which would be maybe 2 or 3 cents USA. That was the only money that I had. The other family did not have money. We tried to sit down at the airport, and they told us not to sit down. The lady stood up with her young baby, and we walked around. It was like we were lost. So after that, there was one guy from Togo that he worked at the airport of St. Louis. So I think he was security guy. And he saw us when the police came to talk to us. He said, because of me, he would help all of us. He just told me that, and I didn't know why he said that. So he said, just walk around at 10:30 p.m. I will take you to my house, and then I will take you back to the airport early in the morning. And he bought chicken. So once we reached his house, he cooked that night for us. We ate that chicken during the night with bread, and early in the morning he gave me $20. He said, okay, when we came to the airport, if no one was around to welcome us, we can use that money to call. The airplane came, we moved to Sioux City. Fortunately, people were there. They welcomed us, and they took us to our different apartment, and it was there that we started our new life.
Their strength to persevere and steadfast courage to embark upon their journey is a testament of their strong faith, a faith that assured them of new opportunities despite expected challenges.
When I first arrived, the apartment that they rented for me, when I came in, I opened the refrigerator. They opened the refrigerator. I saw food, bananas and many other things. And this gave me emotion. It took me back during the time that the water that I was drinking was full with mud. I ate the root of trees to survive. Sometimes we gathered the leaves of trees just to make like a sauce without any other things to drink, just to survive. So this gave me a big emotion. And I was still thinking about even I was eating, sometimes I just stop and thinking a little bit about those that I left behind me. Either they are my relatives or they are not. I was thinking about them, and there was nothing I could do.
The biggest shock was homesickness, because it's still, I miss my people, and I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna see them, the next day I'm gonna see them. Never happened. I watch the TV, nothing like mango tree or anything pass through the TV, so I'm always in shock. It's tough, and I realize also that people work too much here. So there's no way we sit down like that to, have a good life like in Africa. People like to be in a family.
Once their family became adjusted, Asai was able to find work to achieve his goal of being a self-sustaining person. Before he got there, he learned a few important lessons about American work culture.
I asked for applications, and one thing that I noticed here, even they knew they will not give you a job. You ask for application, they will give you. And with the problem of culture, for me, when someone gives you application, that means the person will give you a job. I had problem of communication. I couldn't communicate with other electricians. And sometime I was in my office, and they say maintenance dial. I didn't know what mean dial. When I learned English, I could come back. From there, I work, and I work hard. My supervisor was not honest with me. He said if I reach that target, they will increase my money. So I work hard to even go more than the target that they gave me. And they couldn't increase my money. And I was shocked. I wrote a letter to the manager, and the manager, my supervisor, came to me why I wrote a letter to his boss and other things like that. And I don't know, for some reason, they met and then nothing happened.
Lessons in tow, Asai and Bridget and their children relocated to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where Asai is employed by Rockwell Collins, a global company known for its best practice standards in onboarding diverse employees, such as immigrants.
As workforce demographics are shifting, diversity becomes a business imperative versus a business choice.
If the corridor is to continue its regional and global roles in today's economy, these choices need to be addressed and implemented with an exacting strategy and measured with attrition and wellness metrics, such as the program that Rockwell Collins implements worldwide.
Once an employee accepts our offer, we have the leader reach out to that employee to be available to answer any questions, because many times these employees are moving in to the area and they may not know where to go for an apartment or a house. And so when they can have that connection early on with their leader, that helps them feel comfortable. Then once they're in the door, they go through a pretty extensive onboarding process, and that includes a very detailed employee roadmap that they follow. It also includes an assignment to a department buddy per se. That buddy will help them with maybe some of the trickier cultural navigation that they need to do within Rockwell Collins.
Well, we also encourage our leaders to take on 2 leadership engagement activities throughout the year, where they can directly have dialogue with their teams.